Hello and welcome to the AccelerateHer podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Pirrie, and as CEO of AccelerateHer, I have got the best job in the world. Throughout this podcast, we're going to hear from some of the incredible female founders that we work with. We'll hear their highs, their lows, and we'll revel in their achievements. We'll cover topics like raising investment, getting a product to market, growing a team, and we'll hear from the people in the ecosystem who have supported them. We're going to hear from amazing founders like Kate Cameron, Danae Schell, and the people who've worked with them like Evelyn McDonald. If this is your first time engaging with AccelerateHer, well, that's a great place to start. But look out for us on social media. You'll find us on Instagram and LinkedIn to see what other events we're running across Scotland. Come along and join us, be part of a vibrant network and part of the family. Now, sit back, relax, and happy listening. Today's guests bring with them a theatrical twist as I welcome two producers to join me for the podcast. Christine Hartland and Fiona Gillies have co-founded My Smash Media along with their third founder, Mahesh, who is not here today, unfortunately. Fiona, who is CEO of My Smash Media, is also a producer and actor. And Christine is a COO of My Smash Media and a producer, but you didn't have actor in your...
No, I've said a bit left out.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a bit of acting myself, so I feel like you're the odd one out. Yeah. I've not done any producing, though. Welcome, ladies. It is wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming along.
It's fantastic to be here. We're delighted.
Brilliant. I've heard your story. We've done a bit of working together over the years, but I'm going to take you way back to when you were wee girls at school. Can you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Yes. I wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh,
I wanted to be an astronaut.
what went wrong?
Physics. Oh, me and physics. Not working so well. Astronaut off the table. So, yeah, so that went the way of, a variety of things. But for a while, at least a month, that was my focus.
What about you, Christine?
So briefly, I wanted to be a teacher, which I did with my sister. I used to go to the little library in France and get 2 books, one for me and one for her, and make her work. She's younger than me. She didn't really appreciate that fun that much.
I bet when she looks back on it now, she appreciates it.
She's grateful.
So, astronaut to actor to producer to doing what you're doing now.
Disruptive tech.
Tell me your story from, I'll start with you, Fiona, and then we'll go on to Christine, and then we'll see where the two came together to produce My Smash. So you gave up an astronaut.
Yeah, I kind of saw the light and I thought, it's not for me. It's interesting because when you sent us a few kind of questions, it made me think a little bit about what was it that I wanted to do. And I kind of knew what I didn't want to do. Yeah. But I didn't really know what I did want to do. I really enjoyed drama. I enjoyed stories. I enjoyed acting, all of that. So that kind of, I was moving towards, that's what I enjoyed. But it wasn't in my family background, so it wasn't a kind of language for my family that that's what you're going to do. And my mum was very keen for me to do business studies. My mum came from about 10 minutes away from here, from where we are at the moment.
Oh, right, okay.
So she was very keen that I did business studies, and I was then obviously very keen that I did drama. So yeah. So that after school, I went to drama school. Then I worked as an actor. All through my 20s, then into my 30s. I had children and I started playing a lot of similar parts. So I was playing doctor's wife, lawyer's wife, murderer's wife, everybody's wife, which is quite, it was good. It pays the bills and it is, but I wasn't telling the stories that I had originally wanted to tell. So then I started producing. And then when I was producing, I met Christine. And we talked about the problems that there are in the film industry, the problems that we were experiencing, and what could we do to kind of resolve some of those problems. So we focused on one in particular. We joined forces with Mahesh, and he's a digital product expert. And then we said, okay, there's this problem in the film industry, connection. How can we solve that with tech? And then suddenly here we are with My Smash Media.
Indeed. And so Christine's teacher
Yeah,
or tyrant, your sister might say.
yeah, probably, more likely.
What route did you follow to get here then?
So similarly, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was brought up in France, did a business year in France in one of those top school. And after 2 weeks, you knew that you had to do it again. And I was like, there was 9 hours of maths. I was like, I'm not doing that again. So my dad, who was British, said, you've got to go and try maybe the UK, which I did. And then I came over and did European business studies. And when I graduated, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So I did an extra 2 years in media. So I could have been a doctor or a lawyer or an architect with the amount of years I studied. But I didn't choose that path. And then I went into corporate live events and video producing. I fell into short films because my downstairs neighbours kind of suggested that I produce a friend's short film. And I thought, how hard can that be? No clients? Easy. It wasn't that easy. It was on film. I had no idea what I was doing. And then one thing led to another, and I did my first feature film, which was shorter than any of my short films. We did it really quickly, raised the money, micro budget, and then met Fiona on a program, moaning a lot about the industry.
Yeah, I should explain what kind of program it was. Sounds like it could be a program for health, but it was a program for co-producers. So it was about finding other producers that you could work with. And we moaned extensively about the business to each other. And why isn't it like this? It should be doing that. And why does that not work like this? So then we decided, well, we can moan or we can have a go at trying to do something.
Yeah. And that's what I love about my job, because I get to meet so many women who have stopped moaning and started doing. So what's the specific, you said you sort of narrowed it down to one thing. What's the specific thing that you honed in on? How did you choose that? Why that particular thing?
We realised that there was a problem getting the right project in front of the right person, and there was a problem finding the right project in the first place. So around that area, there needed to be some kind of clarity. You know, I have a project maybe that is perfect for you, but if we don't know about each other, it's very, very hard for you and I to discuss the project. It's really hard. So we focused on trying to make something that was like a dating app for projects. That means we have half of the industry, the film and TV industry, because that's where we are at the moment with My Smash Media, the film and TV industry, the decision makers, so that's the production companies, the film financing companies, the streaming services, all the decision makers who need to find projects for us as audiences to watch. We have that side of the market, and then we have all of the creators over here. And often what happens is that these decision makers commission from people that they know, they feel comfortable with. But we, the audience, want to see programming maybe that reflects us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're demanding change, and we're not necessarily going to Netflix or Amazon, we're going to YouTube, or we're changing our subscription. So the audience has become much more savvy, much more flexible about who they're going to give their money to, which means that the decision makers are having to reach outside of their comfort zones to connect with new voices and find different stories. So if we can make it very easy for them to connect with all of these creators, then that benefits everybody. We as audiences will get to see different programming.
Yeah.
So we thought, how can we use tech then to make that journey between the decision makers and the creators a lot easier? What can we do? Why can it not be more like a dating app? I have a project that would work maybe for Christine. And so Christine would put her brief into Smash. And then if my project fits that brief, we get matched. We don't have to work together, but at least I'm then on her horizon. She has the opportunity to find a new voice telling a different story.
And I might like your project.
And you might like my project.
And then it's a smash.
Yeah.
Smash match.
Oh, I like that. A smash.
A smash.
So, just, I'm going to ask a daft question,
Yeah.
but where do producers and everything fit in with this? Because I thought we were talking writers and TV executives, but producers can come up with ideas too.
Producers come up with ideas. So when we have the creators include groups of their producers, their directors, their writers. There are people creating IP, intellectual property. So could be documentary filmmakers. It could be animators. It could be anybody that's creating. It could be authors, that want to that they have original IP and they would like to put that in front of film and TV companies. So that creators pool is huge, and we are a very creative society. And here in the UK, the creative industries are a enormous part of our growth potential. And they're enormously valuable to the UK already. So we've got the creators on one side, and producers, as you say, can be on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So they can either be creators or they could be the decision makers, the discoverers, as we call that group. Yeah.
So when you were sort of doing your independent films, Christine, you saw that problem, I guess, from that side of it.
From both sides, actually, because you're looking for projects as a producer, and that's hard. You get loads of pitch decks, some of them really badly formatted, or kind of, they don't say what they are. With Smash, it's a industry standard pitch builder, so it's very clear what you can see. And then on the other side, once I had my projects, it was trying to find discoverers, sales agents, or co-producers to kind of push the project forward. So we felt the pain literally on both sides.
Yeah. Can hear it coming from your hand. We've felt the pain. We felt the pain. Yeah.
And we continue to feel it because, kind of we're in the industry. We've got the Glasgow Film Festival coming up. We're working with a lot of producers there. We're working with a lot of writers and directors who are delegates at the film festival. They've got projects. And then also we'll be working with what we call the discoverers, so the production companies that will be there looking for new ideas and new projects.
Do you ever find yourself getting a little bit of FOMO when you see a project or an idea?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you think, oh, that's such a brilliant idea. That is such a fantastic project. I would like to be involved in that project. But then what has happened is it's kind of weird because in Smash, now we've got oversight of all these fantastic... I mean, there are over 5,000 people using Smash now. So they've got some incredible projects. And you feel a slight sense of, not ownership, but of proudness as a kind of... Is proudness a word?
We'll make it a word.
Yeah, we'll make it a word for now. So a sense of pride. Yeah, proudness, pride. Yeah, a sense of that when you look at all these incredible projects. So what we have really focused on is the Smash Cupid. So you've got the creators on this side, the discoverers on that side. And in the middle, we have the Smash Cupid team. And that is led up by Michael, who's an award-winning writer, and Katie, who's a BAFTA-nominated producer. And they are doing the matching. Their thing is story and project. They love stories. They love really good projects. So they're putting the matching together.
Mm-hmm. So is your hope that eventually, though, you'll be able to do that with AI or something?
We're doing, they have tools to support that. Yeah. So all of our focus on the AI is to support that matchmaking, make it a lot quicker, make it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, kind of a lot of the matching has come from their experience and their learning. So the way it works for Discover at the moment is, for example, we have Channel 5 using the platform to find daytime cozy crime. They're very interested in female-led. We've got a very clear brief from them.
Mm-hmm.
That brief goes out to all the creators. The creators submit their projects to Smash Cupid's team. The Smash Cupid team filter and curate those projects, and they give Channel 5 back a slate of projects that fit their brief. So it makes it a lot easier for Channel 5 to find those new voices, different stories, and it makes it a lot easier for the creators to get across there and meet Channel 5.
Yeah.
So it's about finding the right projects, and the Smash Cupid team are key, and the AI tools that we are developing to make that matching a lot simpler and easier will eventually be self-serve tools for both sides of the market.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to pause on your story here for a minute, because we want to take the opportunity with the podcast to let our audience ask questions. We've got amazing experienced founders here, so we've got a sort of an agony aunt section, if you like. And this is a question that's come up, not from one person in particular, but I do a lot of work with students at Heriot Watt. I'm entrepreneur in residence there at the moment. And one thing they are always asking me is how I'm an introvert. They say, how do I get out there and pitch my company or put myself out there at a networking event? And I thought, who better to answer this than you ladies? Because you're always putting yourself out there. Your content on social media is great. You always speak so eloquently about your business. What can, these are young ladies at the start of their business journey. What advice do you have for them?
Well, you're the queen of pitching. Well, I might be more networking.
Yeah. Queen of networking. Pitching, I think, as I get older, I think life is very short and you've got a really good idea. So if you can put your nerves to one side and just forget about that and focus on your idea and sharing your idea with people, why would they not want to know about it? One thing that we always say to creators that we meet is never underestimate the value that your idea potentially has for the person on the other side of the table. And when you sit down and talk to them about your project, they are hoping that you're going to tell them the most amazing project, something that's going to change their life, change their career. And we all have that opportunity when you pitch. You could have a project you could have a business idea that is going to change the world, or it's going to change somebody's life dramatically.
Yeah.
And you might be talking to that person, but you don't know yet that that's the person. It could be that this is a person that's going to be investing in your project or is going to benefit from it further down the line.
Yeah.
So I suppose the biggest thing I would say is there are two things. One, be prepared, know what you're going to talk about, know the audience that you're talking to, all of those technical things that you can go through very practically, have what we call a log line. So have, kind of a sentence about your idea, your project, your plan. But enjoy the opportunity to talk about it. Because I would say with Smash, we talk about it all the time. We must be so boring. We're so boring because we're like, Smash, have I told you about Smash? Let's talk about Smash. It's just like, it's you kind of living it, breathing it, and the opportunity to talk about it is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say be confident. Don't worry about what other people think. Get out there and share your idea because it could change the world.
Yeah. All of that.
And
networking cream.
Yeah. Also, you never know who knows who.
Yeah.
So the person opposite you may not be the right person for you, but if you ask for recommendation, and at networking events, that's one of the things that can lead to an amazing other sort of new world, because everyone knows someone at some point.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. We have that
Yeah.
on a regular basis in terms of, okay, I don't understand the creative industry. However, I have a cousin today, I know someone, my neighbors in the film or TV industry, etc. So it's really interesting. But in terms of networking, I kind of cheated because I hosted networking events, and I started that back in 2000, before networking was actually a thing. So because I'm quite shy and very introvert, it was a great way to kind of host a little event. Everyone comes and talk to you because you're the host.
Yes.
So it's kind of a cheating mechanism in that way.
Yeah.
And we still do that.
It's a life hack.
It's being entrepreneurial, I would say now. But I think what's important is most people do not like to network. Most people struggle. And once you know that, if you see someone who's in the room, you can go there and the likelihood is they'll be so pleased to see you. And then you can have that contact. And it's to kind of have the courage, which, is hard to have, but the courage to go into groups and catch people's eyes and then sort of go in and ask for people to introduce you to others.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, but
It's not easy.
practice.
I would say also don't think about it as networking, just think about it as socialising.
Yeah.
I think networking puts quite a stigma on it. When I was a young trainee accountant, my boss would take me and throw me into a room and say, go network. And I'd be looking at a room full of suits and grey heads and thinking, well, how do I network? But
Building relationship.
chat.
Yes, that's the thing. It's just chatting. I think it's always that thing of finding common ground.
Yeah.
Everybody is in the same situation and we're all looking for common ground. Once you find that, then you can relax.
Yeah.
And then, and I always think in the UK, one of the things that we always talk about is the weather. It's a great opener, and people's, kind of people from different parts of the world go, why are you obsessed with the weather? Well, because we're an island and, we've got a lot of weather. But also I think it's a really, really gentle conversation opener because everybody has a valid opinion about the weather. There's no arguing about it.
Yeah.
It's a gentle way in.
It's cold outside. No, actually, I think it's roasting. You never hear that conversation, do you? Yeah. That's very true. I think I was talking to a lady last week about networking, and she made a very good point that it is on those of us who are comfortable networking to keep an eye out for the newcomers and make them feel welcome and bring them into the conversation and help them out there. So I think there's something for us to take away.
That's why when you see someone on their own, if you can go there, you're likely helping you and them at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is a good.
I used to like getting to events early because you sort of helped set up a wee bit and you were catching people as they came in. So it wasn't that trying to break into a big group of people or whatever. So,
and knowing the host can help because then they can introduce you to others as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I went to an event once which I found very hard to network at. And I was kind of a bit, I went to the loos and I thought, I'm going to leave. This is terrible. I can't bear it. I just don't know what to say. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know anybody here. And then the other part of me was like, just go back in. And I went back in and it was fine. But just giving yourself that little bit of a break for a few minutes and thinking, right, all I'm doing is talking. Why am I making a big deal of it? Go back in.
Give yourself a good talking to and go back in. And go back in. I hope that helps. If you've got any advice for introverts trying to be a bit more extroverted and put themselves out there, or if you've got a question that you want to ask our future guests on the podcast, then email podcast@accelerateher.co.uk. Back to the smash story. You made it sound quite easy. So we just saw this problem and we started doing this. Now we've got 5,000 users. And it's funny, I hear myself saying that and I think I've said that to quite a lot of my guests actually. You made this sound really easy, now tell me the truth.
It's been painful and torturous.
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, I can imagine it has. One of the things I want to pick up on, so you met working together and then you decided to set up a business together. How has that worked as a friendship dynamic?
Well, it's interesting actually because we weren't working together. We were part of this co-producer scheme. So we didn't actually have a business or anything together, but we had a shared interest in this. We talked about this idea and we couldn't let this idea go.
I think it's worth sharing the train journey.
As producers at that point, we were on a train going to Manchester where we had to pitch our films that we had.
On the train?
When we got to Manchester, I know, on the train. When we got to Manchester, there was going to be an industry panel and we had to pitch to the industry panel. There were 3 people on this panel. And we were part of a group of about, 10 producers. That was the plan. So we all pitched. Christine and I travelled together, moaned extensively. But also I was having issues with the film that I had at that time. I was having problems with the film and I wasn't convinced that it was going to go, and I wasn't sure. So by the time we got into Manchester, I was thinking, I'm not going to pitch my film. I'm going to pitch this idea that we've had. I'm going to pitch Smash. Yeah, why not? Let's get it's the best place to pitch it. It's a film industry thing. Christine, let me pitch it. And Christine was like, that's an interesting idea, but is now the time to do this? We've just discussed this on the train. So, and I thought, right, I'm going to pitch it. So in I went, industry panel, pitch. This is Smash. This is what it does. It's going to change the industry. It needs to be disrupted. We can do it like this. Silence. And then one person on the panel went, that's an appalling idea. It's ridiculous. Don't even think about this. Don't go further down this line. It's ridiculous. And they were so vitriolic that part of me was quite, I've really upset you. So there must be something around this. And then afterwards, the other two people on the panel came round the back secretly and said, explore that idea. It's really interesting. And now we realise that the person on the panel that had got so upset about the idea was the person who we were disrupting.
Yeah.
And so it makes complete sense now. But
but that could so easily have put you off completely. Do you know, perhaps that's what they were hoping.
I think that's what they were hoping. But actually, the result was that because these other two people said to us, you should explore that. That's a good idea. You know, on the train on the way back, we were like, yeah, we're going to explore this. It's a good idea.
Also, producers don't give up that easily.
Yeah.
So I think that is not kind of understanding how producers and entrepreneurs actually work. If someone says no, usually you're like, is there not another way?
Yeah.
So, and a big no like that, you kind of go, touched a nerve.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm onto something here.
Yes,
sort of
exactly.
Thing. Yeah,
exactly. And also, I think when you have an idea and then you just can't let it go.
Yeah.
It keeps surfacing again, and you think, no, I'm not going to do it. But it keeps coming again and again, and you think, well, there is something here.
And Mahesh kind of confirmed that there might be something as well.
I was just going to ask you, had Mahesh come into the show then?
Yeah. We took him for a drink and said, right, we've got this idea. Can we use tech? And he went, yes. And can we use you? It was like, oh, all right then. So, yeah.
How many drinks did that take?
Quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah. But you make a great team. And, you know, I don't often get to meet Mahesh. He's kept a little bit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You two tend to be more of the face. But what strikes me, and it struck me when you were answering that question earlier, actually, you're the pitching queen, you're the networking queen. You seem to have a good balance. Like, you complement each other as opposed to both, although you're both producers, you've got different skills and talents. Is that something you've consciously made the decision, right, you do this and I'll do that, or has that evolved?
I would say that has kind of evolved, I think. I think with Mahesh, we're very aware that he speaks tech, you know, and then he also speaks English. So it's a perfect, you know, because we will say to him, why is this not working? Why can't we do that? And he will explain, you know, kind of in very practical terms what we can do about this and how we. So,
and Activate, when we were on the incubator at Activate, they asked us who's CEO, who's COO, and we were like,
we're founders.
We're founders. And they were like, no. Who's CEO, who's COO?
Yeah.
And then they asked one question.
Who's the most organised?
That'll be you. Yeah, and that's why you're CEO.
Yeah. Who's the mouthiest?
Yeah. Because I thought that I hadn't been aware before until I was sort of checking your LinkedIn for doing the intro, and that I hadn't been aware of you giving each other titles like that before. So,
well, we were given them then.
We were given them then. So, because we had always thought, and we still always think of ourselves as founders first, but it makes it, you know, it seems that in the startup world, there are elements of people like badges or boxes, and, you know, it's one of those things. But first and foremost, the three of us are founders.
Yeah.
I think for fundraising, it's quite important still to have those titles.
I think it at least gives the impression that you're organised. I'm not saying you're not organised, but it gives that sort of feeling that you're not running around tail chicken. Everybody knows what their job is and what has to get done.
Yeah, and I think you kind of grow into that job as well. Once you think, right, you become focused on certain areas like strategy, like the long-term plans, like all of those things then start to fall into place.
But we all work very closely together. It's very co-founding in that sense. It's not sort of,
Yeah.
Any particular sticking points where you find it difficult to agree?
No, I wouldn't say, because we talk all the time about things. Also, we're very lucky. We have very regular ops meetings. We've got a board around us that, because we did the Board Ready course, we now use our board in a very kind of interactive way. We want their experience, their suggestions, their ideas. And as filmmakers, you have to be collaborative. Certainly as female filmmakers, you have to be collaborative. So we enjoy that, working together like that. I think, personally, I'd find it incredibly hard to be a sole founder.
Yeah.
I think that's a really difficult place to be.
Yeah, I think it is. And actually I've had both sides of that coin in interviewing for the podcast, because I had one solo founder who said it's great, I don't have to think about anyone else, it's wonderful, and another saying that actually it's really hard, and she's looking for a co-founder and has been for a good while, because it is hard and it's lonely, and it's great to have someone alongside you. You said there, I'm going to pick up on it, we particularly as female filmmakers have to be collaborative. Why particularly as female filmmakers?
I think sometimes it is hard in the film industry. It's hard for everybody. But maybe, sets are much better than they used to be, but there used to be kind of an element of power struggle sometimes on the set, in production, so there's a lot of stuff to negotiate, and you need to get a set works well, a production works well if you're working as a team. So I think often that is something that women are very good at, that kind of collaborating and trying to get things across the line as a team. And as a producer, you have to hold that creative flame. You keep that going the whole way through the production. It's a long old journey. People are constantly trying to blow it out. You've got to keep that production. You've got investors at this end. You've got an audience at that end. You've got to hold it the whole way through and get it to the audience in the shape that you said it would be in, and still alight when you deliver it. So there's a lot of similarities then in founding a company. And so I think we have found that we've got transferable skills, really. A lot of having a tech startup is like making a film. Sounds weird to say, but I think it is.
And so obviously your experience in the film industry, and that has given you that resilience as well to get through the tougher times. I want to talk about that investment journey, because you have raised investment, and we hear so much about how little investment that women get. I always like to highlight the ones who have got investment. And congratulations on that. Is it 3 raises you've done now?
Yes.
3? Yeah, another one coming up soon?
Yeah, we've started one now. Yeah.
I imagine, well, I know, because I've sort of followed your journey through it, that it's been difficult to find investors that will invest in that industry. And I notice you call yourself a tech business, media tech, rather than sort of using creative industries or anything like that.
We're kind of media tech in the creative industries. So we provide a service. That's really, we're media tech in that industry. But we're in the creative industries. We're focusing on film and TV, but we know that there are similar problems in gaming. People are already using the platform for podcasts, for theatre. We've got an interactive opera on the platform. There's all sorts of things. So it's wide creative industries.
But finding investors that know about that industry. And do you know the funny thing is that the term angel investment actually comes from theatre?
Does it?
Yes, it originated from stage productions way back, trying to get funding to get their productions on stage. And the people who gave them money we're called angels, and that's why
That's
angel
lovely.
investors.
Yes, thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Every day's a school day.
Every day is a school day.
And yet, I imagine you struggle to find investors who understood the industry. And you add to that you're two women.
Yeah.
You've got Mahesh as well. And in the nicest possible way, and I say this as your peer, you're not young women either. So the odds were stacked against you. Did you feel like that?
Naively, no. No, because
That's probably a good thing.
yeah, naively no, because you kind of think, well, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
We're solving a problem, and we're only solving that problem because of the level of experience that we've had.
Yeah.
We only understand a way through that because we've been facing this problem for a long time and thinking about it for a long time. So all of our experience has fed into this.
Mm-hmm.
So on some levels, I think the good thing about getting older is you're not kind of hampered by the anxieties that you used to have.
You don't give a shit.
You
I'll
don't-
say it.
I was wondering if I could say that because I was going to be slightly more kind of colourful in my language. But
No, absolutely. I think
don't
you've
give a
got a
shit.
certain
Just
amount
think-
of shit to give in your life. And by the time you get to a certain age, you've got no more to give.
no more to give. My life is very short. You either like this project, it's going to change your life, or you don't get it. So it's that kind of thing. And I think that's the thing that we're both a bit like we're going for it now, big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is hard to find investment. To go back to your initial thing, it is very hard to find investment. And there are loads and loads of hoops that you jump through. And then weirdly, we always say, kind of as film producers, it used to be like, come back to me with your project when you have Tom Hanks. And you'd be like, well, if I have Tom Hanks, I won't need to come back to you. So, it's a kind of, and to a degree in the investment world, there is a lot of that. Come back to me when you have, kind of 5 million revenue. If I have 5 million revenue, I won't need to come back to you. So, you're either interested in investing, you're either up for investing. I think the appetite for risk is the question that we should all be looking at.
Yeah.
What is the appetite for risk?
Yeah.
Because that's really where the nub of the issue is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And we've got, in the UK, we've got the SEIS Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme, the Enterprise Investment Scheme, which is supposed to sort of mitigate some of the risk for investors, but I think investors don't always use it in the spirit that's intended. They're still looking for safe projects to invest in, which I find frustrating, and I'm not looking for investment, so I can only imagine how frustrating that is for you ladies.
Yes.
Christine, what do you know now, going into your fourth round, that you didn't know going into your first round that's going to make your fourth round easier?
I think
Big long question. Well, but that.
I think now we might be a bit more savvy who we talk to, and probably faster at getting a no to move on. I think it's probably better in life to get no's, although they're very rare sometimes, because people kind of don't want to say no in case they don't want to miss out. There's FOMO, and they might want to be kind of coming on later. But it's having that, okay, that road is either closed or not now, and then you move on forward.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can sort of be there and just wait for something that's probably not going to happen. And I think
that it can really stagnate you then as well, can't it? You're not moving one way or the other.
And I think asking if people are interested in the creative industries, because I think people are scared of the creative industries.
Yeah.
The film and TV industry doesn't have the greatest reputation in the business world. So it's a hard sell, even though we're SaaS and we're a tech startup. The whole industry, people are slightly wary. So there's that educational piece.
Yeah.
And it's trying to assess whether that's worth spending time on with certain investors, or whether you just kind of go, you know what,
it's not for you, you're not for us.
Yeah.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because you're so desperate for that funding that you think, well, maybe if I just explained that a bit more. So it takes a certain level of maturity to be able to say, no, I know where this is
not going to work for you.
But also what's quite frustrating is the investors who potentially are not in the creative industries, can bring really valuable knowledge. So you kind of know, or you speak to people and you're like, that would be great to have you on board because you can bring something else.
Yeah.
So it's, sometimes you push things maybe a bit too far, or, you should stop it.
Yeah.
Faster. And I think that we're much better at.
Yeah, I think so. And also we go straight in and say, that if this isn't going to work for you, that's absolutely fine. Is there anybody that you think you should be talking to?
Yeah.
And I think that's, that's kind of the key thing.
Yeah. I can see the difference in you from when you were first sort of doing that.
I remember really clearly when we were first doing it, because we hadn't pitched much, after that big pitch that we did in the first one, but we hadn't pitched much. We were, we didn't know a huge amount about the kind of business side around how to, our company and how it would work and how we were going to monetize it and how we were going to build it and scale it. So yeah, I remember very well.
Yeah.
It's an amazing learning curve.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Big steep learning curve, but you two have just attacked it with gusto. And you were talking about your proudness in the people on the platform, but
really good.
let's get Fiona on the podcast. She's very eloquent.
Very.
But I always feel a pride in the founders that I work with, and I don't really have that right to do it, but watching you all flourish is wonderful. So,
and I would say that we have met through you and the team. We have met some fantastic founders, and that's one of the other things I think is great. It's a very generous ecosystem. I think the founders are very honest and they're very warm with each other. There's share knowledge and resources and ideas and suggestions, and you should talk to this person or maybe talk to that person. It is, and particularly here in Scotland, it's a very, very warm, not cozy family, but there's a fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah, it's why I've got the best job in the world, because I get to run over these people and be part of that community. Fiona and Christine, I could talk to you all evening, but I am told that the optimum sort of length for a podcast is about 40 minutes. So I'd like to finish off with our quick fire round. Yeah. So 5 questions I'm going to ask each of you. They haven't been particularly quick with any of my other guests, so I'm not expecting them to be particularly quick with either of you. I think maybe this first one you've already answered, Fiona, but what's the best piece of advice you have ever ignored?
There's probably loads. There's probably loads. And I did think about this question, that it was hard because I've obviously ignored the advice in the past. So,
but it's worked out for you.
Yeah, it's worked out.
Ignoring the chap that told you not to pursue this.
When I was at school, the headmistress, when I was 18 and I got into drama school and I was leaving school, the headmistress said, "No way, you're not going to go into that business." And I was like, well, I am now. So ignoring that advice was probably quite a good one.
Yeah. Do you think she was trying to put a fire under you, or do you think she?
No, she. It was like, no, absolutely no. It's not a good idea. It's a ridiculous industry. I don't know what you're talking about, but actually, it's a fantastic industry.
Well, look at her now, headmistress. Yeah. Christine, what have you ignored?
Well, I've forgotten it. That's the problem. However, there's one advice that I try not to ignore, which was from my first boss, who said, never assume anything. Mm-hmm. I didn't need to finish the sentence.
We all do end up doing it, don't we? But don't assume it makes an ass out of you. And absolutely, yeah. Christine, first, who would you dream of having as a mentor for the day? Now, this can be anyone, dead or alive, famous or not. Who would you love to?
So over Christmas, I was listening to a podcast called The Secret Founders, Secret Leaders.
I think was there a teleprogram similar to that as well? Was that where they go in and work with the staff and they don't know that they're the boss?
No, I might have got the name wrong. They basically interview a whole load of not secret founders. Oh wow, that's embarrassing. I've forgotten it. It's basically founders podcast, and they were interviewing the founder of WeTransfer, Damien Bradfield, and he was very candid and really inspiring. So, and he exited just recently. So he was very honest about how he started, how he built the business. And WeTransfer, I always thought was quite a fascinating business. I couldn't actually understand it years ago when I used it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have a day. I've connected with him on LinkedIn, so I haven't messaged him yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully.
Well, if you're listening.
Yeah.
What about you, Fiona?
I was thinking about this answer, and I think there's a lot of women, there's a lot of people that I think would be fantastic mentors, and there's a lot of people that have been, under the radar over the years and generations, that you think, oh, if I could have spent an hour with you, that would have been amazing. So I think I'm going to go back to Boudica, also known as Boadicea, because she didn't take no for an answer. And she also managed to pull together a lot of people and get them kind of on the same page. It didn't end well for her. However, she had a passion and she had an idea and she kind of fought for it. And I really admire that kind of behavior, I think.
Well, I think you're going to get the prize for going furthest back to find your mentor. But what a great, that's a good one. Well done. Guilty pleasure to unwind to?
I suppose it's going to be doom scrolling.
Really?
Yeah, there's only so many miniature donkeys that one person could watch, and I just seem to be like, oh my God, there's another miniature donkey, Christine, look, and it's like, so probably, kind of something like that.
Yeah. I'm going to get miniature donkeys on the Instagram feed now, aren't I?
Yeah, you're going to.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
As is anyone who's listening. Sorry about that. But yeah, great. Yeah, it's a good way to switch off, though. I know you have to be careful that it doesn't take up too much of your time or whatever, but sometimes just a bit of mindless scrolling helps.
Yeah.
What about you, Christine?
Well, it's similar. We were talking about it last night. And because I love dancing, but that's not a guilty pleasure. That's actually quite positive pleasure. Yeah. So in terms of what you shouldn't be doing, it is like Instagram. My feed is dog and cats and some comedies, but French, because I understand those better. But yeah, that's what my feed is. That's it.
A couple of my guests have said dancing is their guilty pleasure.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's a positive.
It's a positive.
It's a positive thing, but not necessarily classes, but dancing in the kitchen or dancing while they're doing the I was to say decorating as well, housework and things like that. So dancing, but because that's big energy thing as well, isn't it? And just okay. So what's the best book you've been reading recently? And if you can't come up with a book, I'll accept podcast or TV show, and it doesn't have to be business related. I feel like between you two, you should be able to come up with some good TV shows or films or whatever.
Good TV. There's I've been watching bits and bobs of a lot of different things. Podcasts, I suppose. I've been listening to I'm ADHD, No You're Not. That I listen to Frankie Boyle a bit. All sorts of things, really. A variety. Obviously, kind of the rest is politics. The rest is all of those ones. And this one now.
Yep, good.
Oh, I did. Quite an eclectic mixture. And I found actually, as a founder, because we're focusing on we're doing a lot of different work. I used to really enjoy narrative fiction. But I am more interested now in reading kind of like bios or kind of much more kind of factual stuff, which has changed really from me. It seems really but still I like a good drama. I like it watching I'm watching a lot of good TV or films.
Do you find when you're watching something you're sort of critiquing it, saying, well, I wouldn't have played that part that way, or I wouldn't have shot that way, or
I think that's the thing. If you're in that business, if you're in a business, there's part of you that's looking why did they use that shot, or kind of this scene is quite long, or why is asking questions about it. So for me, what's really good is if I watch stuff and then I can't see the crew, I can't see all of that disappears and I'm right in the story.
Yeah.
Then I think, well, this was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's nice when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm great at suspending disbelief. Too much, possibly. So I'm kind of, it has to be really bad for me to sort of suddenly go, I don't like this, or what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means that I can't do horror films. I struggle with scary suspense films, all of that. But Bad Sisters, which I've seen a poster, really enjoyed that show.
Okay.
And Succession, all of those series.
Oh, Succession.
Yeah, I really like it. And I do like the business podcasts, including the Diary of the CEO and Secret Leaders, or I can't remember the podcast. I know,
Secret.
but it's a really good podcast. And the latest one, which is The Rest is Classified.
Oh.
And a friend of mine is doing Secret and Spies. So it's really interesting. They interview interesting people, and it's from the other side. I love anything that's thriller or something that it's intelligent based or politics. It's really interesting.
Excellent. Good stuff. Finally, one word to describe your business journey so far.
Fun.
Exhilarating.
Oh, you didn't need any time to think about that. Both of you. Brilliant. Fun and exhilarating. There's two of you, so you get 2 words. Brilliant. Well, it has certainly been fun watching your journey, ladies, and exhilarating. And I can't wait to see what the future brings for My Smash Media and for the two of you. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I know you're busy ladies, and you've been on the other side of Scotland today, so thank you for coming over to speak to me, and I hope to see you both again very soon. Thanks for listening to me chat to another amazing female founder. I hope you enjoyed that. Of course, this podcast wouldn't have been possible without the backing and support of some amazing organisations. The Scottish Government, who funded this through their Pathways Fund, Barclays Bank for letting us record this in their amazing Glasgow campus, to Podplistic for seamlessly recording this and cutting out all of my bloopers, and of course to the guests for giving their time to come along and chat to me. If you want to hear more about AccelerateHer, please do follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. Pop over to our website, accelerateher.co.uk, and sign up to our newsletter. I look forward to seeing you at an AccelerateHer event soon.